Super Rugby weekend game, folks. We finished the week with a couple of big old hidings, but the first couple of games were close. So, yeah, close-ish. We'll go through some key events, some stats, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on these four. We started at Mount Smart Stadium. Not the most impressive crowd we've ever seen from Moana Pasifika against the Waratahs, but hopefully once they get a more stable season and some more wins under the belt, we'll see a few more fans at Mount Smart. The ones who did attend were treated to a pretty close game that Moana Pasifika probably could have won. The Waratahs weren't really able to reach those same levels as they did against the Crusaders last week. But that man is an absolute unit. And if they were given a man of the match, I think he'd be man of the match. Moana Pasifika actually started pretty well, man. Penalty. Paul goes over on 15 minutes, so it's a 10-0 lead. They make it 17 points to nil when MOAvWAR goes over on 21 minutes. That's a pretty tidy start, man. But the Waratahs' dominant scrum allows kind of Parise a bit of space to go over in return for the Tars. So the comeback is starting from then, essentially 17-7, and then another one through a bunch of fades as Pareki goes over 36 minutes, and it's 17-14. So that's the score at halftime. Moana big lead. Tars a big comeback, essentially. The territory in possession, the possession's pretty tight, but the Tars end up with more territory. There's only been one clean break in that first half. So like I said, it's been a bit of an arm wrestle. Turnovers conceded is 5-1 with the Tars coughing up a little bit too much pill. Second half, man, Parise again is just a man involved, isn't he? He's putting in grubbers and gathering and passing. Earlier, Moana Pasifika, though, having a foot in touch denies what would have been a bit of a wonder try. So, bit of a get out of jail free for the Moana Pasifika boys. Liliafano slots a penalty on 45 minutes to make it 20-14. Apparently that's his breaks the 1,000-point marks for him in Super Rugby point scoring history. So he's right up there with some of the all-time greats. I think his son brought the ball out for him, so well done for him, and that's a massive achievement. 1,000 points is about 1,000 more than most of us will get. So yeah, man, proper top stuff from him, and a decent lead from Moana Pasifika. But kind of key moments, man. Tima Whainga-Nuku tip tackle on Will Harris on about 57 minutes. And man, do the Tars punish. Nawani Tawase 55 minutes and Dylan Peach, both the wingers, on 61 minutes. They missed the conversion point behind on the first one, but then go 26-20 in front with the second, and that's the final score, folks. So, unfortunately for Moana Pasifika, 2 tries conceded in the yellow. They do push towards the end, man. 16 phases. Whainga-Nuku's got an elbow in touch, so he can't get it done. And then on the 70-plus minute mark, they are camped in the Waratahs 22. I think there's a knock-on when Star Wars is going for the ball. So, unfortunately for the Moana Pasifika boys, but fortunately for the Tars, nothing doing. So the Tars managed to hang on. It was a close game. Like I said, Tars not at the same level as last week, but Moana Pasifika still proving to be there or thereabouts with the last 2 teams they've lost to being the Tars and the Rebels. So run meters 411 to 413, doesn't get much closer. Position and territory 49-51, doesn't get much closer. Moana Pasifika turnovers conceded as 14-9, so a little bit too high. Tars clean breaks earned 5-2, so they actually edged it in that area. Whainga-Nuku, despite that yellow card, at 100+ run meters, a clean break and a defender beaten, so not bad. Denied by his elbow for that try. And Parise, man, 130 run meters, 2 clean breaks, 7 defenders beaten. Proper shift. Moana Pasifika got the Drua next, which will be a fascinating game. And the Waratahs are home to the Hurricanes. Next game, I think we can say the Brumbies are legit with a 38-28 win over the Chiefs in Hamilton. Chiefs haven't been very good at home this year. And that trend has continued. The scoreline actually is made a little bit more palatable for the Chiefs with a last-minute try. They scored pretty much at the death through Akoi to get it within 10 points. They did have a chance to chase a bonus point at the end because the game was still on, but ultimately, yeah, from the last kind of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they were unlikely to win this one. And certainly by the time Akoi went over when he went over, this game was done. The tries for the Brumbies, Nick White with a really nice snipe down the blind side for his one. Whainga'a goes over from a maul. Ikitau had a pretty big second half, to be fair. And Pollard got one over as well. And they were pretty good with keeping the scoreboard ticking over with penalties every now and again, right? Sometimes the Tars were ruthless, go for the maul. Don't go for the 3. Like scrum penalty on 16 minutes. They opt for the maul and Whainga'a goes over. But some other times, they were quite happy to just opt for, for the posts to keep the scoreboard ticking over. So that's pretty much a difference maker in this one because both sides scored the 4 tries. Chiefs to get 4 as well. Nankivell gets 1. He's been having a pretty tidy season, hasn't he? He's I know the All Blacks are chock full of guys in his position, but he's pretty versatile. So whether he sneaks in or he's on the radar, who knows for the All Blacks. Ratima, my dad, is raving about him. He's been really impressed by how he's going. He gets a try as well. Soakula gets one from a pretty slick line-out play. He was going to be pretty hard to stop. And Akoi comes off the bench to get one, like I said, at the death for him. So, yeah, man. The Brumbies, like I said, legit. They will have a big test, but, I mean, before we get to that, run meters is 392 to 331, so the Chiefs edge that, but turnovers conceded 16-7. Tars a lot more kind of conscious of their ball. Tackles, the Brumbies make 191 to 100, so it's a defensive shift which keeps the Chiefs in check for this one from the Brumbies. But speaking of tackles, Sam Cane is the top tackler for the Chiefs with 13. Tupaia is a big ball carrier with 38 run meters and 4 defenders beaten. He was getting the ball over the advantage line pretty well. Ikitau, like I mentioned, big in the second half for the Brumbies. 4 defenders beaten for him as well. Clean break, 5 from 5 tackles. Pete Samu, 88 run meters and 15 from 15 tackles, was also pretty deadly. He had a hand in setting up the first try for the Brumbies. So, yeah, man, they're looking the business. But they've got the Crusaders next at home. So that's going to be an absolutely fascinating one to see where both of those sides are at in comparison to each other. And the Rebels await the Chiefs over in Australia for that one. Speaking of the Crusaders, they gave the Fours a bit of a hiding. This game was competitive right up until about Fergus Warner scored on about 43 minutes, and then the Crusaders just wham, bang, 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 and scored a bunch of tries. So the first half was tight. Moana mucked up a little free kick in his 22 when he didn't tap it, but he stepped forward. So the Force guys were able to pounce on him, and that cost the Crusaders 3 points in the end with a scrum to the Force and getting a penalty. But they hit back with a try through Whainganuku, who ends up getting a hat trick. So does Will Jordan. But Strawn gets one back, so it's tit for tat early. It's legit a game. Strawn, that one was on turnover ball, so 8-5 the Force in front. Crusaders were pretty deadly from 5 meters out though, right? 27 minutes. That one's Whainganuku again. That one's from a 5 meter scrum out on the left wing. Good dive over for it. Crusaders pressure, gets a penalty, so they were able to kind of get a wee lead. Another 5 meter scrum means another try out on the left wing. So it's a first half hat trick for Whainganuku, and it's 18-8 at half time. Not bad. Possession though is 50-50. Territories 48-52, so pretty close. Knock-ons is 4-6. Both sides won't be that happy. Lee Warner goes over the start of the second half, and it's 15-18. So 15-18. Man, that's a legit game on. Force, you're at home. Start, revving up the engines and turning the screws, and maybe, no. Matera 46, Jordan 50, 58, 69, and then Bell on 81. Goodness me, man. I mean, Will Jordan was just having fun towards the end of this game. His numbers are pretty incredible. So, yeah, it's a bit of a blowout in the end. Blackadder was big in the build-up to some. What can you say? It just absolutely went to custard for the Force. But the Crusaders, after kind of humming along, they just find that extra gear, eh? Run meters 291 to 545. Clean breaks 3-9. Defenders beats 25-24 to the Force, but clean breaks 3-9 tells the story. Callum, the Lucy, 4 defenders beaten. 7 from 7 tackles is solid. Will Jordan, 158 run meters, 3 clean breaks, 10 defenders beaten. Elusive. What else can you say? Like I said, the Brumbies await the Crusaders, which is going to be fascinating. And the Force are away to the Highlanders. So we'll see if the Force can show us something else on the road. Force fans, though, if you were depressed about that one, at least you weren't the Fijian Drua in Wellington, because 67-5, like at least the Force had a good half. This game was just a rout. I don't want to say totally from start to finish, but the Hurricanes were knocking on the door pretty much from the kickoff. It took them 14 minutes to get on the board, but once they did, they absolutely just ran riot. They were showing some good hands, some good decision making, just finding space. The Drua was guilty of some kind of bad restarts. TJ Perenara got pinged for dissent, which was, it's not the first time for that. But I mean, Morby hat trick, 2 tries in the first, 1 in the second. Almua gets 1, Proctor gets 2, Hlisson gets 2, Walker Leaweda gets 1 that's just like way too soft, man, straight into a gap. Rayasi gets 1, Sangster gets 1. I don't know what to say about this. It's just a bit of an embarrassing. I mean, the Drua do get 1 in reply through the substitute Waratahs, but just way too many missed tackles from some key players in this game. The back line especially, but even some of the forwards. Yeah, just a bit soft. They rotate the squad a lot, the Drua guys, so I don't know. Maybe for the last few games they need to just put out a stable team. I don't know what's going to help them, but yeah, man. I don't know what to say. Laubscher, the number 8, he showed some proper power, didn't he? So, really good shift from the Canes boys. What can I say? You guys flogged them. 717 run meters to 162. Possession, 59-41. Territory, 76-24. And somehow, despite only having 41% of the ball, the Drua managed to cough up more pill. 18 turnovers conceded to 11. 18 turnovers conceded is a lot, especially when you've only had 41% of the ball. Tackling percentage for the Hurricanes, 90%, 80 for the Drua. I'm surprised it's 80. It felt lower. Salawa makes 16 from 17, the flanker, but Muntz misses 5, Vota misses 4, Matasiwa misses 4, Darren Alangi misses 6. Like, man, just dropping off too many tackles. Rayasi, 136 run meters, 8 defenders beaten, a try assist. Morgan, 2 try assists. Laubscher, 2 try assists. Like, pretty good day at the office for the Canes boys. What can I say? Absolutely put the Drua boys to the sword. I'll admit, I was more interested in my dinner at times in this game. Not because the Hurricanes weren't entertaining. I mean, they were, but, bro, there was nothing. Like, you can look away. Oh, they just scored again. Catch it on the highlights. There wasn't, like, any tension for that one between me popping up to grab some food. You know what I mean? So, yeah, sometimes that's just where the cookie crumbles. But, yeah, Canes, man, good effort. Very good effort. They're away to the Tars next. The Drua are playing Moana Pasifika, so that is going to be a good chance for them to bounce back. I'm not actually sure where it's being played. It says it's home for the Drua, but I don't think it's in Fiji because they're playing the Chiefs in Fiji. But, yeah, we'll have to kind of see what happens. Do let me know if you know. But that's it, folks. A couple of close ones, although, as I said, this one's only close because the Chiefs scored at the death to bring the scoreboard closer. Only one that was a proper edge-of-your-seat game, but good shift from the Brumbies. Real good second half from the Crusaders. Real good 80 from the Canes. And the Tars and Moana had a big arm wrestle, but Waratahs just did enough. You guys let me know your thoughts, folks. And, yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.